Is there anything better than sitting down to watch a truly dark anime? Dark anime are what keep this industry moving, especially for the growing pool of watchers who happen to be adults. They dig into the nitty-gritty and rarely ever look away from the worst aspects of human nature. Welcome folks, it's Animan here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 best dark anime ever. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon for our latest videos. Number 10. Technolize. This anime takes us into a dark and uncaring setting as we explore the underground city of Lux and the three factions that are fighting for control. There's the Salvation Union, which hopes to disrupt the current power that utilizes the black market. There's the Reckon, which is a disorganized group of individuals who use their power for personal gain. And there's the Organo, which is essentially like the Mafia, as well as our main focus as two of the main characters work within it. This dark anime spotlights how intimately humanity is tied to its cities and the advancement of technology, and the danger of such an attachment. If this city really is a representation of the world as a whole, then there really is no hope for a happy ending. Number 9. Another.
Misaki って知ってるか? 3年3組の Misaki。 そいつさ、1年の頃から人気者でさ。
いるよね。学年に一人はそういう人。
ところが3年に上がってすぐ、そのMisakiが死んじゃったのさ。
Another puts you into Class 3-3 of Yamiyama North, as Koichi Sakakibara transfers into the class. Immediately, things seem off because not only is the class rather quiet and cold, but there's also a student wearing an eye patch, Mei, that no one seems to know about but Koichi. Realizing just how strange this classroom is, Kei and Mei try to figure out what's plaguing the students. This dark anime is the anime equivalent of Final Destination, and as such features a massive list of ways to die. Oh, and it gets bonus points for making many viewers afraid to even leave their room. Number 8. Drifters. This anime brings us into a fantasy world full of elves, dwarves, humans, orcs, goblins, dragons, all that good stuff. Though good and evil are the two general forces at play, the side for humanity has been dissected into factions over the years due to oppression and discrimination, while the monster forces have been uniting. Such circumstances, as well as what the future will be like, are because of the influence of historical figures that have been brought into the fray by overseer-like characters. Those fighting for the good side are drifters, while those fighting for the monsters are enders. If you like dark anime, then you gotta check out Drifters. Number 7. Death Parade. Death Parade is a dark anime that brings us to the afterlife as we enter Quintessem, where the host Dessen decides the fate of recently deceased through parlor games. Though it's uncertain how Dessen judges most of the competitions, one person shall be reincarnated, while the others will enter the void and no longer exist. Each episode brings in people who are presented with the cruel and unforgiving situation. It literally forces people to play a game for their lives against people they love or people who are complete strangers. Just imagine the emotional and mental state you'd be in if you had to play a game of darts to decide if you or your spouse was going to be reincarnated. You really can't win in such a situation. And it is this type of situation that Death Parade constantly puts you in. Number 6. Psychopaths. Psychopaths takes us to a futuristic Japan that has been able to form a type of utopia through the creation of a Sibyl system. This system pretty much decides every aspect of society as it monitors the mental health of all citizens, as well as deciding what route everyone in society should take. It's through the eyes of a single unit from the Public Safety Bureau's Criminal Investigation Division that we explore the ins and outs of this supposed utopia. In this anime, we get to intimately explore the authoritarian world that ostracizes anyone with anxiety, depression, or any other mental illness. Having such a focus on mental states adds a lot of layers to the show, as it forces us to question if the ends justify the means, and if it's the majority that should always take precedent in society. Number 5. Deadman Wonderland. The violence and visually disturbing events are non-stop in this show. The setting brings us to a city that built an insane jail system known as the Deadman's Wonderland. In this complex, inmates are basically required to accumulate candy in order to survive, as well as being forced to partake in deadly events in order to entertain the masses. Most people think that the deaths are just faked and that such events are simply publicity stunts. Oh, and that's just the stuff that happens on the legal level. There's also an underground fighting ring to this jail system, and it's in that setting that most of the series takes place. The show pushes quite a lot of boundaries and can easily be considered one of the top 10 best dark anime ever. Number 4. Perfect Blue. Mima Kirigoe, a member of the pop idol group called Cham, decides to quit singing to pursue a career as an actress. Some of her fans are displeased with this decision though, particularly a stalker named Mimania. As Mima progresses into her new career, those close to her are violently murdered one by one, and Mima begins to lose the ability to distinguish reality from fantasy. A harrowing psychological mystery that blurs the lines between the real world and the darker side of the human mind. Perfect Blue is certainly not a film to be viewed by our younger viewers. Number 3. Corpse Party: Tortured Souls. The story is set in Heavenly Host Elementary School, a school that was torn down following the murders and disappearances of several of its staff and students. By the time of the story, another school called Kisaragi Academy has been built over the former elementary school site. One night, a group of students from Kisaragi are telling ghost stories when a sudden earthquake transports them to another dimension where Heavenly Host Elementary still exists and is haunted by the ghosts of the school's murdered children. It's a shocking, isolating mystery horror that will draw viewers into feeling the same sense of dread and entrapment as Naomi and her friends.
ずっと一緒にいようか。体が動かない。声も出せない。もっと苦しめろ。成功。助けて。
Number 2. When They Cry. Keiichi Maebara has just moved to the quiet little village of Hinamizawa in the summer of 1983, and quickly becomes inseparable friends with schoolmates Rena, Mion, Satoko, and Rika. However, darkness lurks underneath this seemingly idyllic life they lead. As the village prepares for its annual festival, Keiichi learns about the local legend surrounding it. To his horror, he discovers that there have been multiple murders and disappearances at the village in the recent years, and that they've all been connected to the festival and the village's patron god, Oyashiro. Higurashi, When They Cry, is the pinnacle of dark mystery. In this anime, you'll see a mad scientist watching those innocents in the test chamber with morbid curiosity. Yet, slowly, that morbid curiosity will be transformed into sympathy. And as you fall in love with these victims, that initial curiosity will turn into a genuine desire to figure out what's going on. Number 1. Yakusoku no Neverland. Let's think for a minute on how fragile human life is. We can die so many different ways that it's frightening to even think about. Immortality is a far cry from reality. In a desolate world where kids realize that their entire life has been them preparing for death, it feels like living a nightmare. Living in fear is a terrible way to live. Don't believe me? Just ask Emma, Ray, and Norman. Welcome to the Promised Neverland, a series that managed to make a new breed of itself among the popular Jump manga family. Consisting of 12 episodes, it's a show that blends elements of survival, science fiction, mystery, horror, and suspense. It's a thriller that manages to capture the essence of life at its innocence, while masking the facade of horror. Our three protagonists play mind games and tactics with Mom, and tried to escape after discovering the orphanage they lived in was only a farm to raise kids to be sacrificed to demons. Now you might want to know, what is outside of that house? Is it a demon society? Why does Mom obey demons? Well, for that, you've got to watch the anime. Which was your favorite dark anime? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. See you next time.